Hey guys, so I'm currently in the midst of making my next Z-pop dream video and thought it'd be fun to make yet another unpopular opinion video because why not? But instead of my end of the year unpopular opinions video, I thought I'll do a halfway through the year unpopular opinion video instead in hopes that it won't be as long as the first one. Hopefully. If you have not checked out my previous two-part videos about the after school and prison situation, I will have them in the card on the right hand corner and linked in the description box below. And if you're coming from those videos and you're watching this one, I am fully aware of the audio issue, and hopefully before this video is up, I will have already uploaded a fixed audio version of part 1 for the people who wanted to watch the video but couldn't hear anything I was saying due to the background music being so loud. And again, I am so sincerely sorry about that and about that issue. I really tried my best to make sure that the audio was not too loud in this version, and I hope you're able still to enjoy the content that I provide in those videos, and I will do my best to make sure that issue does not happen again. And so without further ado, on to the opinions you might hate me for.
Some of y'all about to be real mad at me, but it must be said.
Momo Man's past releases are not doing him justice and might end up being the demise of the group. Once again, the company or producer are giving them songs that are meant to be trendy or go viral instead of good quality songs that are meant to stick with their audience. First of all, I want to say that I'm happy that I'm So Hot didn't turn out to be a Boom Boom 3.0. However, the song to me was okay. The rap by Joey was the only part that stuck out to me, and it's great that they're doing something different. I won't discount them for that. However, I'm gonna go back to what I said in my first unpopular opinions video, that to me this is becoming another Korean pop situation in which they're given songs in hopes of going viral and doing somewhat the same old formula from their past releases, which I fear is going to cause some people to get bored with their future releases. And I used to feel some type of way when people would start calling them a one-hit wonder, because you never know, Momoland could have another big success. But if they keep going in this direction, One Hit Wonder is a title that's going to stick with this group. So I hope that the company goes back to the drawing board and gives these girls something of good quality. Because at this point, the trendy, going viral trend is not cutting it for them. Kill This Love was a good concept, but felt empty. Honestly, I loved the concept of the music video. The imagery, the choreo, well, parts of the choreo. I think the choreo, honestly, overall could have been way better. The looks, and minus the unnecessary tragedy Lisa's had during her rap scene, but the song to me honestly just felt empty and ended way too abruptly. I guess that's mainly because it doesn't have a bass within the song, that's why. In fact, honestly, the whole album felt the equivalence of it when you know you're about to sneeze but the sneeze actually never comes through. I do like some of the songs such as Don't Know What to Do and I Hope Not that were on the mini album, but honestly the whole album to me just felt like a constant abrupt end, and next thing you know, you just finished listening to the whole album, which just kind of like makes it feel so rushed and not as enjoyable as I would have liked it to be. Boy With Love featuring Halsey was their best collab to date. I'm not gonna lie, I was very skeptical with how Halsey's voice was going to mesh with BTS's sound, but honestly it was such a perfect match to me, from the song itself to the harmonies in the music video and the actual music video itself. It was all enjoyable to watch, although I'm not gonna lie, I did cringe a little bit during the dance portion, but at the same time it made my heart soft, so I guess that didn't really matter too much to me. I personally actually grew to love their stages that they had Halsey with them, especially at the Billboard Music Awards. In fact, if Big Hit are going to have BTS do more collabs with Western artists, which I believe they're going to do a collab with Khalid in the future, they need to stick in this direction when it comes to collaborations. They need to collab with artists that are going to enhance the song and complement BTS's style rather than having an artist with a big name. Like I said before, the Nicki designer collabs were cool and all, but it felt forced and were no way needed. But the collab with Halsey, although may not have been needed, it was still fun to watch, and you can tell the interactions were genuine, especially on and off stage, and I really actually do hope that they do collab again one day in the future. People need to stop overusing so and so deserves better and so are so slept on. This will probably to some people be the most nitpicky unpopular opinion I have, but I've literally seen some people say that BTS are slept on and deserve better, Monsta X are so slept on, or insert popular group or soloists that are clearly doing just fine are slept on. Now, I am not talking about situations when a person or group are being disrespected, treated badly, anything of the sorts. That is not what I am talking about. That's a whole nother situation that does not go with this opinion that I'm stating. What I'm trying to say is that in terms of groups like Nine Muses, who went through 10 years in their career with not a single win and practically had no attention on them, even after multiple member changes, had not a single bad song in their discography. Groups like Stellar, who went through a bandwagon of hate when they released Marionette, who had to do really out there sexy concepts, which at times they were not comfortable with, and even at one point stated that they were almost left their company for almost being forced to do something they did not want to do, and also continued to be ignored by the public until it was mentioned that they were about on the brink of disbandment, later on disbanded. Then groups like Hotshot, who despite having 3 members in different temporary groups, they still did not get nearly as enough attention. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's annoying to see people say that this popular group deserves better or still slept on, when there are actual groups out there who've been in the industry maybe sometimes even longer than these groups, who are still struggling. Those are groups who deserve those titles of deserves better or are slept on. And I guess maybe this is just nitpicky and maybe this is just me, but it kind of just bothers me a little bit. But moving on. Soomi should have never gotten the hate she received after saying that BTS paved the way. I can understand people bringing up the Wonder Girls and Psy as the ones who paved the way, because honestly, I was like that too, and actually would get mad when people kept saying that BTS paved the way, because at the time, I thought it was disrespectful to groups and singers like Psy and Wonder Girls who came before them. I'm trying my best, honestly, not to get angry, but the fact that people were publicly adding Soomi, insulting her on Twitter, and saying that she was, first of all, disrespecting Wonder Girls, who has stated they're like sisters. So first of all, how disgusting for you to even say that. And even going as far as to cancel her and drop her was outright pathetic and uncalled for. First of all, I don't know if it was Soomi or it was another member of Wonder Girls or JYP himself, but it was outright publicly known and said that the US debut did not do so well and they did not achieve the goals they wanted to achieve that they had for themselves. Now all of a sudden people think they're experts in the company and want to say she's wrong. First of all, companies have goals that they try to reach, and usually when they do not reach those goals, the project is seen as a failing one. This woman has been in the industry for how many years now, and has been a part of JYP for how many years before she left? I didn't know all of a sudden that y'all were working at JYP at the time of their US debut, and obviously know whether or not their US debut was successful or not. This woman honestly has talked about so many important issues. For example, the whole concept of noir has made it known that female idols do not get the treatment of a world tour just like their male counterparts, is an open supporter for the LGBTQ plus community, and overall is such a nice and kind fucking soul. But the second she says that BTS paved the way, y'all want to forget all that and drop her, which how fucking dumb is that? Which moves on to my next opinion that some of y'all may not like me for. BTS paved the way. Like I said in my previous opinion, I can understand where some people are coming from when they're bringing up the Wonder Girls and other groups and singers in discussion of who paved the way. But when it comes to longevity, BTS, in all honesty, did that. When we think back to idols who made the move to promote in the Western market, such as singers in groups such as SNSD, BoA, Psy, CL, Seven, Spica, and of course the Wonder Girls, and currently now we have groups like Monsta X, NCT 127, and of course BTS. And I personally like to think of it like a wall, with the Western market representing the wall. I know that sounds weird, but stay with me for a second. I am trying to make a point. Each past singer and group made moves to break through that wall, with groups and singers such as SNSD, BoA, Seven making small dents on the wall, then moving on to Wonder Girls who made a big dent on the wall but never really breaking through, to them not being able to keep their longevity within the Western market. And then you have Psy, who to me does not get enough credit for what he did, who broke through the wall with Gangnam Style that became a worldwide sensation despite some of the negatives that came with it, and soon even his name began to fade out. And now you have BTS, who have not only made the hole in the wall bigger, but have continued to go past that wall with their hard work and strong fan base. And to me, all those groups made an impact, but BTS being the biggest and the longest impact. And honestly, that's a win for everybody, because one, this shows groups what is possible for them and that they're not confined to anything. It gives groups more opportunity as well as more possible exposure. Now, is acceptance from the Western market really needed? No, not at all. In fact, I really could care less about Western validation because it's not really needed. But as someone who got into K-pop in late 2009 and early 2010, to see a group winning awards on an American award show, that's just not something I ever thought would ever imagine. So to me, there should not be a negative that comes out of saying that BTS paved the way. Do I think people shouldn't say that when trying to put down other groups to make BTS look better than anyone else? Of course. In fact, if you're willing to do that you're a whole asshole for that. But in terms of longevity, the milestones that they've made and moving into the Western market, they really did pave the way. YouTube views do not matter. I know this is probably not an unpopular opinion, but I'm just going to include it because I feel like this has to be said almost every single year. But for the love of God, YouTube views do not matter. You do not have to constantly stream a song or music video like someone is holding you hostage or something. Now, for the people that want to stream a music video and or song all day, all night, every second of the day, go ahead. That is your life. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Feel free to do so. But the people who will go out of their way to shame someone or go as far as to call them a fake stan because they're not streaming all day, all night, every second of the day is outright stupid as hell. Like, I get sometimes it's annoying to hear old K-pop stans say how they miss certain part of the old days, but holy hell, I honestly sometimes do too. Like, I miss the days when it didn't become a competition of who can reach the #1 spot on the chart the fastest or who can break another record the fastest and then shame other groups for not doing so or rubbing in other fans' faces. It was nice to just watch a music video here and there without feeling pressure to constantly stream. And to the people who are going to say, well, no one is telling you that you have to, or no one is forcing you to do so, you're absolutely right. But you would be so surprised how many people will go out of their way to try to belittle you, to shut you out, just because you didn't stream a song, which is honestly so fucking stupid. And if you know or have someone like that in your life that's actually doing that to you, cut them out, because that's fucking ridiculous. Keep in mind that there are songs that are practically anthems in the industry that almost everyone and their fucking mother know, and that have not either made it to 100 million views or just reached 100 million views or are still at like the 80 million, the 40 million, 32 million. Like, for example, Into the New World by SNSD, one of the most iconic debuts by any girl group, is literally covered by every single person. It's still at 32 million views plus. And Sorry by Super Junior didn't even hit 100 million views until 2018. Views are not what make a song iconic or keep their longevity. The song does. The views are just an add-on. Mnet did the right thing by boycotting YG content. I understand a lot of people are gonna keep saying, if you boycott YG, you're gonna make the artist suffer. Well, yeah, that's bound to happen. But the main reason why it's a good thing for Mnet to boycott them and also for other places to boycott them is because you have to hit them where it hurts. And that place is their money and how they make it and how they obtain it. This isn't a new concept. Many people boycott establishments and companies all the time because once you mess with their money, that's when they'll realize how serious people are and how serious the situation is. And I don't stand YG as a company, nor any company for that matter, because I guess this is maybe a side opinion, but I honestly believe there is no such thing as a 100% good company, just companies who take better care of and care for their artists better than others. And YG as a company, I'm tired of seeing articles and about shady shit that goes on, how they treat their artists and everything just in general, and how they manage to snake their way out of situations, especially with the accusations that have been thrown out there. And I'm honestly more surprised that Mnet, as shitty as they are, made the decision to do this. And actually, for one, I actually applaud them for doing that because they're doing the right thing. Blind stands are the worst type of fan. I used to believe that obsessive fans who like to claim their idols as their own property were the worst type of fan, and even though I'm calling a blind stan the worst, nothing will ever beat a sasaeng, and the only reason why I'm not categorizing them in the terms of a fan is because to me, sasaengs are not fans. You are literally a threat to an idol, and I just personally refuse to recognize them as a fan because they are not fans. But anyways, through the years, whenever I see people trying to call an idol on their problematic behavior, or when people want them to take accountability for their actions, and now with the whole Seungri burning sun situation, I think it's honestly toxic to put someone on such a high pedestal that they could run over someone else's dog on purpose and still have people call them an angel and that they could do nothing wrong and that they're perfect, and if anyone tries to come at them, they're an anti. To me, it's a ridiculous mindset that needs to stop, and at the end of the day, we don't truly know who any of these people are, and just because you see them act cute or so sweet or nice on shows like Weekly Idol, that doesn't mean you know their true personality. Like, I don't know how many times people have to say that to get people to understand that concept. There is a reason why it's called fan service. Do I think there are people who are 100% genuine, they're on or off camera? Absolutely. But it doesn't mean everyone is like that. And to me, to see some people supporting confirmed shitty people because they rather throw away their morals and common sense away and be a fan rather than a human being is honestly sad. And this whole mindset of I'm going to follow this person to the end of time, they can do no wrong mindset needs to fucking stop. Because at the end of the day, you do not know these people. These people are strangers. You don't know who they really are behind the camera, behind the scenes. You just don't. Alligator by Monsta X is their weakest song today, and the album as a whole was their weakest. This honestly high-key pains me to say this, because to me, honestly, Monsta X just released nothing but bops. Like, before Alligator being released, I don't remember a single Monsta X song that title track wise I did not like. But with Alligator, I tried to get into it and I really liked the music video, but the song just wasn't all that great and really isn't all that memorable to me. In fact, the whole album wasn't up to par either. Like, there were just a lot of skippable songs and maybe one or two I constantly still listen to. Monsta X as a group to me is very consistent when it comes to their songs and their concepts and what they're trying to go for and deliver. But to me, Alligator was like the dip in the constant line that honestly could have just been a whole concept that could have just been skipped and wasn't really needed, which makes me so sad to say. Soomi should not be a soloist and is better off in a group. To me, there are certain types of artists. Ones that shine on their own and were meant to be soloists, ones that shine in a group and are better complemented being in a group, and artists who are both. And to me, Soomi is the type of singer who shines more in a group than on her own. Now, as I'm recording this video, her solo debut is probably out, and if I change my mind and opinion on it, I'll probably put it in a pinned comment somewhere. But honestly, based off Produce 101 and IOI days, I've noticed that when she's in a group, she shines. Her energy meshes together with the other members, whoever's in the group at the time with her, which help bring her out when performing. But when she's on her own, she's kind of forgettable and there isn't anything special about her that sticks out. And to me, I feel like she's the type of person that can't really do a good job to command a stage on her own. And to me, I feel like she's just the type of person that isn't meant to be a soloist and is meant to be in a group. So I don't really feel as if pushing Soomi as a soloist is the smartest of ideas. A fandom can push you away from a group or make you stop listening to the group entirely. I kind of mentioned something similar to this in my first Unpopular Opinions video when I was referring to 101, and I had a good amount of people tell me that you stan the group because you like the group and not for the fandom, which is true. But when you begin to like a group and you follow up on that group and their, future comebacks and releases, you kind of become a fan. So after that, trying to then find people or communities who like that same group so you can talk to them about that group, right? Which kind of is where this opinion is coming from. Now, when I say this, I do not mean that not liking a fandom is any justification for you to hate on another group. That is not what I'm trying to say at all. What I'm trying to say is that the more and more you try to interact with other fans, at times you'll just find a lot of toxic ones in places within the fandom. And sometimes there are just people, they're just a sea of just toxic people you just keep running into, as well as toxic situations. And at times when you try to avoid those situations, you kind of find yourself being pushed away from the group because you want to avoid toxic fan interactions, but you still kind of want to make friends with the people in the group or interact with the group. And sometimes, not all times, it just becomes too difficult for some people. And I hate when people express why they don't stan a group as much as they used to due to those certain reasons I may have mentioned, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, and or Twitter or other places. And there's always people that will comment stuff like, just say you hate the group and go, or the fandom doesn't define the group, or you can still listen to the group without interacting with the fandom and such and so forth. Again, it's true, but for the people who want to interact with the people in the fandom, trying to make friends and whatnot, and just not interacting with certain people just makes it hard to do so. And some people just want to have people to talk about a group to some people. And I guess, side note opinion, but I roll so hard when people will parade around and say that they're the best fandom and try to say how non-toxic they are and how non-problematic they are and such, when there is literally no such thing as a perfect fandom, and that mentality gotta go. There are bad apples in every fandom. Some fandoms just have more bad apples than others. A fandom cannot be defined by the bad apples because there are a lot of nice people in the fandoms, and they're just covered up by the shitty people who are in that fandom. And sometimes there are some people who are not even fans in that fandom who just want to start shit. But at the same time, it's bad to ignore the bad aspects in a fandom, especially when there is toxic behavior going on. Because going back to what I said earlier, you can't go around saying how great and perfect your fandom is when there are still people putting out shitty behavior to other people within and outside of your respective fandom. But anyways, I got completely off topic and literally just went off into a completely different tangent, but I am going to end the video here. I probably won't make another one of these until December for the end of the year of Unpopular Opinions, and that's when we're over half of the year, I guess. But if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much, and please leave your unpopular opinions in the comments below. Please, again, please be respectful of each other and each other's opinions, because we're all not going to have the same opinions, and we're all going to disagree with each other. It's just how life works. But so anyways, please stay tuned for my Z-Pop Dream video that'll be coming up soon, and thank you so much again for watching. Bye.